2018 GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're one match through Group C, heading in. The Cure versus INnoVation, a TVT for the ages, one that you might think is a little bit one-sided, but no regret. Tell me why Cure has a chance.
It certainly may seem one-sided, thinking that Cure, maybe not the best, but I think he's one of the better Terrans for sure in Korea.
Yeah, you were telling me he's like 7K MMR, just like insane
like
ladder
6'8".
monster.
He's really good. He's one of the most underrated Terrans in my opinion.
Wasn't here with us for Season 1 of GSL this season, or this year, but he's been back. Eliminated in the round of 32 last season, but now he is coming into his 7th GSL Codes as to face off against a monster of Terran on the other side. But, I mean, he's obviously having a lot of success right now, and it's pretty hard to scout.
Yeah. Another thing here is he is a Jin Air Terran. Jin Air Terrans definitely have an edge here. We got Maru, you know. You can watch Maru do some crazy things with that. I think if, as long as Kier's, you know, using Maru to his full advantage, he can do really well.
Now, INnoVation earlier this year had a little bit of a rough spot. He was eliminated in the round of 16 twice and is coming into what is his 14th GSL Codes. However, it should be noted that this is still INnoVation. He's coming off of his Home Story Cup 17 win. He has more offline victories in Korea than MVP. So this guy is still a god. We'll see if the challenger Cure can take him on as we get into our second best of 3. This one will unfortunately not feature GSL Atlas. That was the first veto by Cure. But we are starting things off on 16-bit.
Yeah, 16-bit can be an interesting TVT map for sure. So we'll have to see what the strategies are.
Then we're moving on to Lost and Found, and then Dreamcatcher's our final map. We've seen these maps around in pretty much every tournament for a while, so nothing super crazy. But I'm interested to see what will happen as we get into our first game of the series on 16-bit.
Match 1, fight!
And here we go, in the upper right-hand corner in the blue. This is
Jin Air Green Wings, Cure.
I like the red circle.
Dude, that red circle, whoever thought about that's on the beach in the Bahamas with a good idea paycheck. This is, in the red,
O Gaming TV, INnoVation.
This should have just said OG INnoVation. My man. So yeah, Lee Shin-hyung, no question about this guy's skill. Sometimes he does look a little bit shaky, but by and large, you can just never count him out. One of the most solid macro Terrans out there, and it's good to see him back for, I think, his 14th GSL. This guy's just been around for a while.
Yeah, he has. Very interested to see how he's going to do here. Nice thing to see is we don't see any proxies. Which
That
is
is true.
Good.
We proxied that guy in the audience. Thanks for coming down, man. The good old proxy camera shot. His opponent across the map is Cure. Now, Cure is, I think, Kim Do-uk.
Yeah.
And Classic's name is Kim Do-woo. So he's one letter different. We already saw Classic get upset. So maybe Cure will be an upset or two, as long as you ignore stats like that.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is not a big deal in Legacy, though.
And so I think what we should see is that the stats look a little bit better more recently in Legacy of the Void.
Cure, I think, has been a really big kind of up-and-comer in like Legacy. Like, not up-and-comer as in like, oh, well, who's this guy? It's more like he's been getting really good, in my opinion. We just haven't seen his results yet, and I would be surprised to not see anything here. Like, I think he has a very good shot at being an upset here. Honestly, I wouldn't even consider an upset if he does beat INnoVation.
Yeah, I believe Cure was on a few winning Pro League teams, but never has an individual championship of his own in offline premier events. So certainly does have a lot more to prove. But INnoVation, I gotta say, and this is not to shed any doubt on INnoVation's skill, but after being eliminated in the round of 16, 2 GSLs in a row, I mean, this guy's a multiple time GSL winner. And every time that INnoVation wins a championship, it's in Season 3 of the GSL. So every time we hit Season 3, there's a chance INnoVation's going to win it, and he's done it 3 times already. So we're back here in Season 3. Maybe that's the buff INnoVation needs.
Yeah, we'll have to see. One thing we have to look at too, by the way, I think a big thing here is Kier's information on Kier is kind of limited compared to INnoVation. So when preparing for GSL and you know you're playing INnoVation, Kier should have a huge edge in preparing for this series.
Yeah, you were telling me
INnoVation was streaming like literally yesterday, so
he's been streaming a lot, and I mean, I guess you can say, well, he's not going to show his strategies on air, right? But there's some things that you can just learn from watching a guy play.
Yeah, mechanics, decision making, like reactions to things you have to react the way you react, regardless of whether you want to hide a strategy. Like you can definitely learn a lot from people, even if they're hiding strategies. You can't hide mechanics. I really don't think you can. Otherwise, you're just playing badly, and there's no real point in streaming at that point if you're just kind of fake streaming. Unless you go like Battle Cruisers or something.
Well, I mean, obviously that would just be way out there. I was actually talking to a friend of mine who commentates fighting games, and he was saying that one of the things that fighting game players will look for is how do players react to specific setups. You know, do they juke right or left? And you can learn a lot about
That's a great example.
players' reactions to either certain builds in StarCraft 2, but actually does completely miss that medevac heading out.
Yeah, Kenny, I'm trying to say, I don't think he can tell 100%. He should know that there's a lack of units here, though. He might be able to tell that this is a medevac, but I don't know if he knows what's inside it.
I hope he doesn't just think that he missed something somewhere out there. And he is going for a Banshee to have that across the map, but that just means there's not a lot that will be back at home for Kier to defend against this double drop.
Yeah, but the Banshee on the other side can be really scary, too, though.
It's
He
true.
does have a tank coming, too.
Okay, maybe he will be able to stand. I mean, taking out a mule already, that's going to be a big economic hit. Every SCV that's not pulled will die down here. He's just going to have to wait for that tank to come out to defend. He's got a Cyclone of his own, but that might just get owned. Here comes the Cyclone.
Really good defense, too, by INnoVation.
INnoVation, yeah, just right in position. That's going to push INnoVation and Kier out, respectively.
Yeah, that was actually really good for INnoVation. Still getting some more economic damage here.
The good old KD8 disruption charge.
There are a lot of tanks, or at least 2 tanks coming. He has 1, I think, already. So this is the second tank.
Yeah, takes out on both sides, and ooh, Kier just barely able to save that Banshee, and he's actually going to get some
like
SCV
3 or 4
kills.
SCVs, I think this evens it out. I almost think you should sack it if you can get maybe a couple more would have been better, though. I think sacking it's the best call here, because he lost already a lot of workers from INnoVation's counterattack.
Right, and that's the big characteristic, is that INnoVation went across the map, but he didn't lose anything, whereas Kier did lose that Banshee, which he won't have to defend against anything else that INnoVation sends.
Are those... This medevac have 2 tanks in it? This could be really scary for Kier.
It's either 2 tanks or 2 Cyclones, but I think it's 2 tanks. Yeah, it is 2 tanks.
I'm actually really nervous for Kier, because it looks like he's posturing for the natural, and that you're not getting a drop-off in that natural.
Oh, and 2 Vikings
here
coming out.
Yeah,
this
is really scary. If he has to back out immediately, I think. Okay.
Yeah, so he sees what's waiting there for him, and he will back out. But keep in mind, there are still those 2 Vikings that just popped out and might hunt down these dropships.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get him, but okay, this is really good again.
Man,
any amount of damage is really good.
Just keep getting in here. This is sick trades. And, actually does get the bounce off on one of those Cyclones to take it out.
What are those Marines doing up there?
Taking one for the team there. Those 50 minerals of scouting information strapped inside a Marine suit.
Yeah, INnoVation, I was taking an army advantage here. The thing is, Kier is being really active on the map with his medevacs. As long as he doesn't lose them, he has the ability to keep INnoVation at home for a very long time. Because INnoVation has to be worried of a threat, a double tank drop threat. Oh, okay, this could be really bad. Okay. Ooh, I don't even think you should posture anymore.
No, you gotta go back. This is where you drop the mule to repair that medevac.
I mean, it's better than losing them.
Yeah, probably not, but this is very scary. This is the, please don't attack me right here. And in the meantime, INnoVation is still having success with this random Cyclone drop coming in at intermittent intervals back in the back natural for Kier.
Okay, he might lose a medevac here. So close.
I mean, how did he not lose any?
It's like one
Those
shot.
have to be in the red.
One of
way
them's
down
in one
deep.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to stay out on the map. This is a very risky choice, especially if you decide to put anything inside those medevacs, because you can just risk losing it.
It's only risky if you don't have like 100% confidence in your ability to boost out of there. Okay, that's nice.
Okay, all right.
You might be able to get that.
The hashtag value. Maybe INnoVation is just going to say, hey, I killed your unit, I can pull mine back and repair.
He could get into a position here that would be really annoying for INnoVation, especially if he can't get down the ramp with his army already, like right off the bat. Loses 1 medevac, that's kind of annoying. Yeah, see, there's only 1 tank down here, so in theory, this could be really annoying.
Keep an eye on upgrades. Stim is just about to finish here for Kira, and he does have +1 weapons on the way, as well as a bunch of Marines being produced at a time, 5 on the way. But the big advantage is going to be this tank spot.
Okay, that's really nice. 3 workers down already. This is just really annoying positioning. I think he can actually hit the CC if his medevac gets in range.
Air advantage certainly for INnoVation, so he will be able to win tank wars, and I think that's the big deal that will help him defend here at the natural and will force Kira into a different position.
Yeah, Kira respecting the air advantage here and just backing up. I think that's the smartest thing he can do. Really.
Oh, try number 2. This time with another couple of tanks put into those incoming medevacs, but Kira has yet to find any success with her ass. I mean, he killed like 3 SCVs with the Banshee earlier, but
yeah,
drops, I guess.
Not a big deal.
Right.
The one thing is that he has the ability to threaten another drop here with the medevacs that we saw earlier. And these drops can really change the tide of the game.
Absolutely.
Look, this is actually a huge drop.
If this were Gumiho, and I were an observer,
wait.
I would, here we go, this is exactly it. He's going to look for it, but perfect positioning on those Vikings to defend.
This is a really good spot, though.
Okay,
There's nothing here.
Not quite so perfect position.
This is so good
He
for
drops
Kira.
into tank fire, but it's only one tank, and this is high ground advantage for Kira.
Yeah, and now going up this ramp into 5 tanks is not a thing you ever want to do.
10, 11.
This is really good. Only 2 tanks now.
Yeah, interference matrix, but those are still high ground tanks. They're taking down every Marine here. INnoVation's taking critical losses, and the I matrix expires. There's nothing else but Vikings on the ground.
Yeah.
A beautiful move, immaculate by Cure. He'll kill everything for INnoVation in his base.
Yeah, beautiful play by Kier. This is one thing I was worried about, like threatening that posture and then being able to do it. I was actually scared for Kier because he was loading up in a tower, so he knew. INnoVation knew that the drop was coming.
Now, eventually, INnoVation should be able to clear this up, even taking down a half-full medevac. But right, okay, you beat me to it with the casterism there. But right, that's incredible damage done by Kier with a very well-timed drop.
Yeah, and another thing is like Kier can keep threatening to do the same thing that just happened, you know?
Yeah, there's no hiccups in Kier's game plan right now. He took a little bit of economic harass early on, but he's firing on all cylinders, 3 bases up, and he has a huge army moving across the map.
Yeah, I don't think he'll right out be able to just kill Inno by pushing in. That would actually be one way Inno can come back. But again, you can do the same thing. Look at that. He's going for the drop again. I was going to say, you can do the same thing he did the first time. And INnoVation kind of has to respect the frontal push. Okay, he has the center tower in a really good position.
Here he goes, boosting back in. Wait, are you serious? There's no...
okay, he can't. He can't drop here. This would be really bad, I think.
He's going to try it. There is a missile turret, and he will kill the tank. Stimming underneath, a good tank shot off onto those clustered Marines. But way more medevacs there for INnoVation. He will clean that up.
That was really, really good for Inno. That was like a comeback, almost a comeback move. 68 workers to 59 is the biggest disadvantage for Inno right now, but really army size is not that big of a difference. He's actually ahead right now, but army in general doesn't mean too much in TVT.
Right, the 4th base coming up for Cure is going to be his attempt to kind of leapfrog INnoVation. Say, well, maybe you beat my army right there, but I'll have a faster base and more macro, and you should be able to push across the map. But INnoVation will try with this double drop heading out.
I kind of wish Inno would push for stuff like this earlier, because Kier's been so far on the map with his army that it would be really scary for this kind of stuff. Obviously, Kier's gonna have full scout of these double drop, so he won't really take any damage from it now. But if this was like stuff that was happening earlier, when Kier was going for his own pushes, the counter damage could be so huge.
Exactly right.
This is not going to do much anymore, though.
Yeah, I mean, getting it scouted, sure, it clears out the watchtower, but see exactly how much of a catch Kier is able to get. I think INnoVation should just pull totally back with that. But Kier does have map control, and he's going to use that to defend this new 4th that he has on the way.
Yeah, Kier in a really commanding position. I don't think Kier needs to go for anything more aggressive now. That's kind of why I felt, in general, that medevac push was kind of a bad idea. And obviously, it didn't go very well. But like, you just don't need to do that. It's unnecessary. Sure, you may win, but if you keep those units, you play your advantage, you actually have a way better chance of just winning the longer game, right?
Kier coming in and trying to snipe off any scouts that come out onto the map. Of course, he doesn't want to walk into siege tank fire, but actually, did he lose a medevac there?
Whoa! That would have been really good.
Kier.
If he would have killed those 4 medevacs, that would have been insane.
He's trying to restart my pacemaker right now. Beautiful usage of Vikings this game for INnoVation. He's always had that air advantage. He lost them after having landing them, but this is...
That was a lot of army to just lose for Kier.
Yeah, big win there by INnoVation. He uses his air advantage, his mass Viking count, to totally stomp Kier's force out on the map.
I think Kier just needs to be more conservative with his units at this point. Like, he's in such a good spot economically. If you move out with a maxed army or something like that, that's way better than just kind of trickling units and leaving them on the map and losing them.
Well, here goes INnoVation, finally committing to taking down the destructible rocks in front of his 4th base, which is about to be up and running. Of course,
Yeah.
Cure is a little bit of an advantage there.
I think INnoVation actually has a pretty good timing here. I don't know how many Vikings Cure has. I know he's building 3 starports. That's a lot of starports.
Yeah, but the starports are in production. They're not making Vikings, right?
Exactly.
So Cure has the realization that he needs an air advantage or some way to come back, but he doesn't have that just yet. So now is the time for INnoVation to strike.
This is pretty much the optimal time. I think if he waits too long, these starports are going to be insanely scary, especially when he starts producing Liberators, which I'm assuming is what he's going for. Yeah, so far this has been a pretty good push for Inno. Okay, here there's actually 2 Liberators already out.
Oh, late unsiege there by Cure. He's going to lose one tank.
Yeah, but that's still really annoying.
And all INnoVation has to do is siege unsiege, which I think more so than maybe every other player he is very, very good at. Coming forward now, trying to, trying to stim in and take out these Liberators. He just can't get through the withering tank fire.
He pretty much made the best of a bad situation. There's actually not enough here, I don't think, to really deal with this. These tanks siege up. They should be enough to kill all the tanks for Cure.
Yeah, more siege tanks in the back for INnoVation. More Marines in the front as well. And he will steamroll through everything behind at some points, but not out. INnoVation going to be steamrolling into this natural expansion, and I don't know if there's enough here for Cure to defend. Down over double, or half rather, of INnoVation's army supply.
I don't think there really is. He caught him in a really bad position for transitioning with the triple starport even.
I mean, fine, the Vikings are out now, but this is just way too late. There's Marines on the ground to push them back, and way superior siege tank and medevac count for INnoVation.
Yeah, INnoVation hit a perfect timing, by the way. Like a perfect timing. If he waits too long, Cure's anti-air army gets way too big.
Yeah, also, Cure had the a slight upgrade disadvantage there for a second, or upgrade advantage on tanks, but he took them out, was able to, INnoVation was able to roll through after that to take game number 1 against Cure.
Yeah, I think Cure really mismanaged this game. He was really, really far ahead. Like, don't get me wrong, really, really far ahead when he did the drop, and there was pretty much nothing contested. He killed 23 workers and saved almost all the Marines. And then he went back in and lost pretty much everything. There was just a really unnecessary drop by Cure. He should have played his advantage, but he didn't. Got a little bit overeager, and I think he got punished for it.
Right, and that is what does make INnoVation. That's about the expression of that last series. He knows he had a great position and then kind of threw it away a couple of times. But that is why, like I was saying, INnoVation is such a good player, because he knows those tiny little missteps and how to punish them, and he just did such an expert job out there. But it was very, very close, and at times Cure did have an advantage. So if you're an INnoVation apologist out there, maybe take some time to rethink your argument, because Cure is looking very, very strong, and even just that might worry INnoVation after saying that he was a little bit shaky in his interview.
Yeah, I think this is really good for Inno, though. When you're up 1 and if you came back, honestly, you came back. You were behind, so you should feel really good in this position.
Well, we're going on to Lost and Found for our second
Match
game.
2,
This best of 3s. See you there.
Oh, here we go. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Cure, my man. Usually you would do something like this if you're up a game in a series and maybe have one to burn, but Cure, back up against the wall, is going to go for the proxy 2 racks.
I think it's a little unnecessary, to be honest. But I mean, it can. Don't get me wrong. It can totally work. It's just a little bit risky. Also, Lost and Found of all maps, I don't think. Well, I mean, there is a jump spot near the Nat, or near the main. I guess this is actually an okay map for proxy. It's definitely better than 16-bit.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, that last map is not a problem. I mean, you guys can try it, but probably leave that build at home. I'm always curious to see exactly how much gets proxied here and for how long. There are, I guess, ways where
It'll
you
just
can...
be 2 racks with a factory at home, I think.
Yeah, I always get a little bit worried, because sometimes you'll see like the 3 and then the 4 and the extra SCVs. And at that point, you're really, really committing. But you know, this isn't like...
Yeah, in TVT, the only viable proxy really, like there are other really, really weird ones. If he ever did like 4 racks or something, like we would all be freaking out right now.
Oh yeah, no, that would just be the craziest.
Yeah, this is just like this actually isn't hugely all in, I think is what you were saying. Like this is pretty much...
Right.
It's a committed thing, don't get me wrong. It should do damage. But it doesn't. You don't just lose if it doesn't do anything.
Right, and you also don't have to just keep mass-producing Reapers over and over and over again.
The biggest thing here, sorry, actually, INnoVation has no idea, and he hasn't SCV scouted or anything, right?
That's true, and that's one of the things that punishes you. There was a very iconic series in, I think, last season of SSL, where Byun played TY. TY was vastly superior at the time, but Byun cheesed him, I think, 4 games in a row and punished him for never SCV scouting. So now, we'll see if the Reapers can catch INnoVations. Kjur is getting a big advantage. A couple of shots there. That Reaper's going to have to go back and heal. That means that Kjur can actually camp INnoVation's production facilities.
Yeah, this is actually really, really good for Kjur. I was thinking if you waited a little bit longer and let the Reaper leave, that would have been so much better, but this is actually doing way more than I thought it would. You might get the Reaper here! Oh my god, that was so close.
If you wanted to commit, maybe sack 1 Reaper, he could kill off INnoVations, but now he's going to start healing up and he's going to pull back, and we do have a couple more Reapers on the way, but with a Hellion out, that is INnoVation's path stabilizing.
Okay, here's the factory from Kjur. This is a normal follow-up for it. The nice thing for Kjur is this isn't a Cyclone, because Cyclones absolutely
he gets
destroy
the
it.
jump up through the natural. Attacks the command center for some reason, but he's trying to micro his heart out here. A couple of bounces, but nothing consequential. And, moving up, he does catch a couple of Reapers.
Okay, that would have been insane if he'd saved all of them.
Yeah, if he had saved all 4, then all of a sudden you can heal those back up, come back in with an advantage. But this is
Might
INnoVation.
get one more? If he gets that Hellion.
He gets a Hellion.
Okay.
That is the bonus right there. But
that's actually not a terrible trade.
Oh, and actually, Inno's out of position. He'll have a Hellion spawning right now. This should mean a couple more SCV kills.
He's going to get the Hellion again, at least. One more Hellion goes down? Yeah, of course. He might get this Reaper, too. Okay.
My man.
He should get this Reaper, possibly? No, okay, getting out. That's wise of him.
Still producing Reapers off
really
those
good trade,
proxy
though.
racks.
Look at this, 5 Reapers for 2 Hellions, 2 Reapers, 6 SCVs. That's pretty efficient, I would say. 600 resources for 200.
Thankfully, we have all that added up right underneath. I would never be able to do the multiplication in my head. But yeah, that's a win for Kjur off of this strategy. But it doesn't mean that there's critical damage done to INnoVation. He's still exactly identical on workers. Okay, 1 off. There
you know what's
go.
really... Look at this. This Rax is going to scout the starport. Wait. Yeah, the starport's in the main, right?
It is.
I was going to say that.
It's not proxied.
He wouldn't be able to scout if it was proxied or something.
If it was proxied, then all of a sudden we get really scared for Kjur.
I think the proxy Stargate would have been, or starport would have been awesome, but yeah. This is really nice scout for Kjur. I can only imagine he's actually scouting it right now. Yeah, their engineering bay goes down. This is really, really nice. Kjur in a really good spot, honestly. The CC going down. He might be able to scout the CC too. Scouting
He's going to turn around for it.
Yeah, it'd be a really nice scout if he scouts the CC.
Will he, though?
It's pretty close.
Oh, wow, he's actually not going to steer towards it. Maybe that barracks has a lot of hit points.
Yeah, he definitely could have. It's not a huge deal if he loses that Rax either. What is he going to do, fly it all the way home and use it later?
Yeah, he's got the bonus racks back at home, and realistically is not going to be producing from those for a while. Yeah. So, Cloak Banshee is on the way for Kjur. On the other side, it's just a fake Cloak upgrade there for INnoVation.
Is he going to come back and scout? This kind of reminds me of an Overlord. Except Overlords are way squishier.
All right, I'm waiting for INnoVation to cancel this Cloak. I think he might actually finish it. Okay, I didn't actually see the Banshee going out across the map, but he will finish the Cloak, so it's going to be coming in for both sides. Is there a Raven or detection back at home? I guess there's a turret already up.
I think canceling Cloak would have been the best, actually. Because Kjur, it's not like INnoVation's like, well, maybe this isn't a Banshee Cloak.
Maybe by 5 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, he won't have prepared for my scout. Gets it! Right on the borderline. It's where he's going to wait for you. Snipe you out of the air.
That was a really good pickoff. Again, I don't think it's actually a huge deal to... Like, I don't think there's a real reason to finish Cloak. It's not like you're going to catch them off guard. Maybe you can use it defensively, like a Cloak Banshee kind of forces a Raven or something, but it almost always is a Raven anyways after the Banshee, so...
Right. Well, a lot of times, that's why I actually thought it was fake. At first, you'll just make the Raven and then make the queue up Cloak, but...
INnoVation's taking this mistake, though.
Oh, okay.
Really nice control by this Banshee,
yeah, his Raven was actually out of position. That gets, what, 3 Marines?
Oh, okay. Now,
okay, well,
Kjur kind of overstaying his welcome.
Yeah.
That was really nice control by Kjur for a little bit, and then obviously getting a little bit overzealous, in my opinion.
DD did. So now we're going to see both of our players kind of transition into what their next phase of these builds are going to look like. For INnoVation, he wants to get his air advantage back up, so he's going to be reactoring out Vikings, most likely behind this. And from what we've seen previously from Kjur, maybe he's going to start up into that heavy drop play after it got him such a big advantage in Game 1.
Personally, I think this map is better for the drop play. Like, you see that ledge next to the main. There's kind of a spot where you can put a tank on the low ground. It'd be really annoying. And then drop up on the high ground or something like that. There's more drop potential on this map, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's just that huge spot in the back of your main that most of the time players don't build like pylons or supply depots in there to just check and see if anybody's coming in. kind of like an asset plan at the same time. But man, second time is not the charm here for Cure. He is going to get completely taken out, but he does get 4 SCVs, so kind of paying for itself with that tech.
Yeah, he just sacked that. Obviously he knew it wasn't going to do much. Honestly, Banshees don't really have utilization past a certain point in the game.
Unless you're going that like mass hyperflight rotor Banshee
Nobody
style.
does that.
Nobody
TVT,
does that
yeah,
anymore.
that would be insane.
INnoVation was one of the first people to kind of do that, along with like Maru and a few others, but definitely not in TVT.
Yeah, in TVT it didn't make much sense. You're just like, well, I've got Marines.
Yeah, I've also got like Ravens that can paint your Banshees orange.
I can just stem. Like, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff you can do.
Right. So, unfortunately, not going to see my favorite build, but at the end, Cure, he got out there and did a little bit of damage, but hasn't managed to really stop INnoVation at any turn.
Yeah, I mean, this Helly can chase as much as he wants. I don't think he's getting the cycle.
It's the optimism, Hellion. Mom said if I just tried hard enough, I could catch. No, sorry, Hellion. There's no winning there.
It's not happening.
But hey,
nice
third base coming up. Oh, a little bit of unlucky timing. Oh, wait.
Yeah, nice scout on the third.
Oh, he's not going to kill the SCV and delay it anymore, but that's right. The scouting information is what's most important.
Yeah, he's scouting the fact that there's no army at the natural would probably be really big. He should know that there's a push coming for him. This is actually the part. This is the spot I was talking about where it gets really annoying if he sieges up next to the wall, which he might do. Looks like he's gonna go for it. Yeah, that's what I was talking about right there. Actually, Kier already knows.
No way!
Yeah,
All right,
Kier's
sick positioning. Oh, but nice interference matrix double on the other side. This is crazy, and actually, INnoVation is going to run out first, so he will get the last second shot there on the damage tank on the low ground. Will he actually take it out in time? No, he doesn't.
Man.
And with another one coming through, Kier's tanks get exploderated on the high ground. And of course, a lift on that command center, and this is a very good entrenched position for INnoVation.
Yeah, Kier knew this was going to come, honestly. He had a good spot for it, but he might be able to use the Cyclone to kill that Raven. What was I saying?
My man.
Look at that.
All right, the caster curse not in effect today. I guess that's what happens when you bring the players in.
I would like to see him reposition his tanks now. I actually doesn't have vision of it. He definitely wants to be repositioning, though.
Oh, no. Kier's going to lose another tank here. Or is that just
bunker?
Just barely out of range. But yeah, losing the bunker, the Marines inside.
Oh, this tank's
big
going down.
opportunity. Oh, tank of the National not sieged. It disappears.
Man.
Dies that fast. And with a big stim in, that's it. GG. INnoVation takes game number 2 for the 2-0 over Kier.
Yeah, really well played, honestly. He had really good positioning the entire game.
But it's not like Cure just laid down and rolled over, right? INnoVation actually was stressed a lot in game number 1.
Yeah.
Put in a very bad spot by that first drop, but I think game number 2 really showed why he is such a great Terran player.
Yeah, I honestly thought Kier might be the one to abuse that positioning. We were talking about like drops and like, oh yeah, maybe putting tanks in that position would be great. So it's kind of funny that we saw Inno instead abusing Kier the way I thought Kier would abuse INnoVation.
In the end, Kier does go down and INnoVation advances on to our winners match to face off against Stats. So we will have that match coming up when we return. Don't go anywhere.